Two things. Joel got MVP. We always should mention that. I gave him some love today on First Take, but obviously on the podcast, I want to say this as well. I'm so happy for him. And I know I didn't vote for him. Okay. I'm so happy for him. Like I said when I announced who I voted for, all three of those guys deserved an MVP. Joel has deserved an MVP for 3 years now. Just a phenomenal season. And I think about not just the long-term growth, a guy who started playing, when he was 15 years old, but like when I played with him, how much he's gotten better, the mid-range game, the willingness to pass, the engagement on defense. It's like obvious at this point, and it wasn't maybe back then, but I would tell him this, and it was the truth. That's how I felt then. Like, he's the best player I ever played with, and a great fucking dude. So I'm just like, I'm proud, man. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, sure.
I really am.
It's very cool.
And Jason and I were talking earlier, and I'm like, dude, I might decline. If they ask me to be a voter next year, I might decline, because like, it's hard for me. I want Joel Embiid. I will admit it. I want Joel Embiid to win an MVP. He's my friend. Of course I do. Right. I want Drew Holiday to make All-NBA. He's my friend. I want those things. You're a human being, man.
Like, there's personal bias and everything.
I still have to vote in a way that I think is unbiased.
Yeah. But listen, man, what are you going to do? You're human, right? You're human. And so you're not going to go out of your way to vote something that's clearly absurd because you like the guy. So you're talking about here, I love the word you use, deserving, because every year there's several guys are deserving, right? And now it's up to us to go on the air and differentiate why you might lean in one direction or the other and make a compelling argument, but doesn't mean that the guy that finished second or third is less deserving. They all are. It's just really hard to win it. I always describe this, my analogy I always use for this MVP thing is like, imagine that, like the deli at the supermarket, and you take your number and you're waiting to go get your, half pound of turkey breast. And there's a bunch of dudes with that number in their hand waiting to get to the counter to get their meat. So you think around the league, like, who else is hanging around at the deli? Because Joel's been hanging at the deli. Like, he had that number in his hand. Meaning it's a matter of time before you're going to get your lunch meat. And there's guys like that. Like, I guess, Tatum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got to get one at some point, right? It's coming. Yeah. Right? Who else would you say is in that category? Luka for sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe last year or the year before, maybe some people were thinking like maybe one day Ja. I don't know if I've given up on that, but I don't know.
I'd throw somebody else out there.
Okay.
And I believe this, and this is not because I was his teammate and he's a Duke guy. Look, if Zion figures out the process and embraces the process, he's that good. I believe that.
Can I give you another one?
Yeah.
Book.
Oh, that's a good one.
MVP?
That's a good one.
Depending on the year.
That's a good one. You don't like Book. That's fine.
No, I love him. But I mean,
you don't like Book. You were such a hater last year.
I love him.
You were such a hater last year.
How do you figure?
On our podcast.
I don't recall. Did I hate on Book?
He held his follow-through up, and you got mad at him for that.
Oh, that's right. Well, see, some of that stuff drives me
insane. I remember everything.
Okay. I thought you were talking about something related to his game. I'm like, there's no way. I said something about Devin Booker.
I like that one.
That's okay.
By the way, going back to the voting thing,
yeah,
you're not going to just throw something ridiculous out there. So they released the MVP voting, and somebody didn't have Jokic in their top 5. And I gotta think that was just a mistake. I don't
know. I would doubt it, man.
How could you not have him in the top 5?
You'd be shocked. I mean, this happens all the time in baseball voting, and then it comes out after the fact of what some of these guys, their criteria for it. And they got some sort of axe to grind for some reason. Not that you'd have one necessarily with Jokic, because how could you? How could you? But there's something about his game that bothers that one voter to that extent that they wouldn't vote for him.
It's like the Utah guy that voted for Kessler over Paolo for Rookie of the Year. It's like you always get one crazy person.
Have we left anybody out of the deli conversation? Because I just don't want to. Is there anybody else that you think it's a matter of time? Like he's in the pipeline to get one. I think that might be it. Is there anybody else we're forgetting?
We have to be. I'll throw Ja in there.
Okay.
I'll throw Ja in there.
So Embiid just grabbed his meat. He's out. He's out. Okay, Giannis isn't hanging around anymore.
That.
Jokic,
You can't say he grabbed his meat.
His lunch meat at the deli. In the analogy, yeah, you can cut that
Let's
out.
get specific.
I don't
with
need
the meat.
Yeah,
he
you can cut
grabbed
that
his
out.
turkey.
He grabbed his turkey breast.
He grabbed his pound of turkey.
Grabbed his pound of turkey breast and maybe some American cheese, whatever he likes to put on it. Some rolls, and he left because he got his MVP.
It's a great.
That's my
analogy.
point.
Yeah.
Giannis is out of there. Jokic is out of there, right? Obviously, some of the older guys too. So it's more about those younger guys that you think it's. And Embiid was there, man. Like, it had to happen. And actually, for me, I'm glad because I do so much Philly talk radio, and they talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we can start. Yeah,
like, a lot. Yeah. And now it's over. You don't talk about that anymore. Now it's all about just win a championship. That's all we can talk about now with Philly.
And he talked about that today in his press conference. It was great. He said this mattered to me, which I love. It mattered to me. I cared. I wanted it to happen. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Acknowledge that you're chasing after greatness. That's fucking awesome. And then he said, but it's just one goal.
Yep.
The next goal is the championship. Right?
And along those lines, I want to add on to what you were saying about Joel and how he's changed, right, and matured. See, for me, the biggest change I've seen is when he speaks, when he does interviews, when he does post-game, all that stuff. Think about it. Go back to like earlier in his career. He would kind of like talk about himself and who he was and like, you know what I mean? Bring that kind of attention to himself. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the best this, I'm the best that. He did that a lot. And I think it turned some people off maybe from him a little bit. Now, man, it's all about business. And he conducts himself in such a way that he doesn't let anything distract now from what you just watched him do on the court. And I think that's been a major turn for him. He matured. He's become more of a leader. He understands now the expectations on him every single night and now what it is to live up to that. So just could not be happier that he got this award because he's put so much into it. He's been heartbroken a couple of years. I know it meant a lot to him. And now
it should mean look.
Hopefully he doesn't think, okay, I got it, I'm good. Hopefully he wants to win 2 or 3 of these things.
I know Jokic says they asked him the other day, how much do you care about the MVP or whether you win the MVP this year? And he said 0, right? And I think knowing people in the Nuggets organization, I'm not friendly with Jokic, but like he doesn't care. Like the dude is competitive. He loves basketball. He wants to play basketball.
Yeah.
And doesn't care about all the stuff that comes with it. But like I like that it matters. I like that guys.
Same.
That's a goal. Like, dude, I was thinking this, like I always had high goals and I worked my ass off. But like, how good do you have to be to say
I don't care about
no. How good do you have to be like, my goal is to win the MVP, and that's like a realistic thing. Like, you and I, we could never make that goal.
No, not at all. No, you're writing down like you used to write down what you're hoping to accomplish that year and win MVP of the NBA.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get that. Wait, what about one more? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Oh.
I was gonna say him and Ant are probably in the same category.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, that's
yeah,
they have the potential.
Yes,
they have the potential to do it, but
okay.
Well, I guess Shai made it first. Will probably make first.
Deli section getting a little crowded now.
Yeah. It's like they're like peeking in the deli.
Yeah, right. Taking a look. They're over at a different aisle right now. They'll make their way over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're good ones. Shai kind of blew me away this year watching him.
Yeah, that was an oversight. Again, we don't have like every team in front of us, and we're talking about a lot of different things. There's an apology. I'm sure we left off somebody. I'm sorry, Chet Holmgren. I don't know. I haven't seen you play yet.